welcome to the Questionnaires podcast, where each week we source the best questions from Yahoo Answers and attempt to provide the best advice from...
Do small boobies hold less milk?
2.
God. Can chickens' eggs break inside them?
We're here to prove that every question deserves an answer. Joining me this week, as always, is Marcus.
Hello, Tom.
And Damien.
Take my name off the podcast. I'm ashamed. I am ashamed.
You know what? For the first time, I know we say every question deserves an answer, but I feel like that one just really crossed the line and it does not deserve an answer.
Wait,
it doesn't,
hold on.
Marcus.
I like how you guys always accuse me of like I'm the one that wrote the question. Every question deserves an answer. I'm just finding somebody else who's asked that question. Why are you guys looking at me like I want to know if small boobies have milk in them?
You're testing the phrase from the podcast. It's literally the first line, and you're testing it, and I think I refuse to be tested.
Do you know what the problem with, I realize, with the way we open the show is as well? When Marcus picks a question like that, this is essentially what's happening, right? I look at the first 2 minutes of the podcast as like somebody walking past a storefront, right? So if you see something you like in the window, you'll enter that store. For somebody who's never listened to this show before, if that's the first thing they hear, then they're not entering that store. We're essentially putting poo in the window front and then saying, are you interested in this? And they're like, well, of course not. It's shit. And they walk away from the podcast.
I don't know if you've seen, like in America at like Abercrombie and Fitch stores, they have like shirtless guys standing at the front of the shop to get them in. We need the equivalent of that, and I think it is the opposite of every question that Marcus ever brings.
Well, we have a shirtless guy, but his abs are covered in shit. He's just completely smeared.
His doo-doo shit covered. That's it.
It's funny you bring up those Abercrombie and Fitch guys, because I remember when my girlfriend went to America, I didn't know those guys existed, the shirtless spruikers, and I was flicking through her holiday photos and being like, hey, who's this guy you're standing with? Who is this shirtless beefcake? And then she explained to me what it was.
Did you get a stripper in the middle of the day outside in the street?
Wait. Can you guys clarify for me? What the fuck is that? Like, what, they're topless. They're just standing at the front like, we need clothes. Come inside our store. We need clothes. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. I feel like that you shouldn't be advertising a store that sells clothes with people that don't wear clothes. Like, what's the point in that? But I think they're there to basically, it's almost like in the Gold Coast, they have like meter maids. You know, people go there, they might get a photo with the shirtless man and then be like, I'll peruse, I'll go in and have a look. So it's more of a gimmick than anything.
Yeah, there's a novelty to it, right?
Okay. Yeah, exactly. It may not be for you, Marcus, but some people probably enjoy it.
Yeah, I look. To each their own. I just don't get it. I mean, I look at a guy that's topless who's probably got washboard abs and think to myself, I'm not like that. I can't go into this store. I can't. I don't look like this.
I'm not built for these clothes.
It's steering me away from the store because I'm like, I'm just not that. I'm just not Michelangelo. I don't know. What's the statue of David?
It's in the name, Marcus. It's Abercrombie and Finch. So it's right there. It's right there.
So I can't do it. I've got no abs.
They're there, Marcus. They're there. You just keep running.
No.
No. We're not going to do that. Let's not worry about running. Let's worry about questions and answers from the website, specifically Yahoo Answers. That is what we're here to do. It's what we do each and every week. We find questions from the website, try to provide advice to these people and help them on their way. That's how the show works. The other thing we do is we choose a theme each week to name the question askers, and it's Damien's theme this week.
It is my theme, but I am going to put a pin in it for now because I actually have a problem of my own that I'd love to throw at you guys to see how you deal with it.
Ooh.
Yes, but I wouldn't say this is a strong enough problem to be a king's conundrum. This is more like a king's kerfuffle. It's kind of a small problem.
It's like a sneeze.
I'll fluff with a kerfuffle.
All right. So I want to run this by you guys. The other day I had a package delivered to me. And I was working at my office in the front of my house, so I could see the postman coming. So I thought, I'll meet him halfway and go out the front door. So as he's looking at his package, walking towards my front door, he stepped right on top of one of my trees, like my tiny trees, and he just broke that thing right in half. Like, essentially, imagine the tree, like imagine the mailman was a magician and my tree was his assistant, and he just sawed that thing directly in half, right?
He was like a giant lizard man stomping on a Tokyo, basically.
Yes,
is what he was
exactly.
doing.
Except
He
he was a
murdered that
bad
ant. He
was
murdered
a
it.
bad musician because he didn't put the assistant back together at the end, right? The tree was broken. So
Yeah,
I
that's the real
see him
trick.
do that. Like he crushes my tree, looks up at me. I'm waiting for like an apology. Like I don't want a replacement tree or whatever. Instead, he just hands me the package, gets on his bike, and just rides off without saying anything.
No.
He just goes off into the sunset like, see ya.
Yeah,
On his
exactly.
horse. Yeah.
So I was like, do I complain? What do I do? And I feel bad, right? Because I know like at the moment the posties are overworked with everybody working at home. Everyone's ordering like a ridiculous amount of packages. So I'm like,
true.
maybe he was so tired he didn't even notice what he did. But I'm like, do I bring this up with somebody? What do I do?
Is he a regular postie? Like, do you recognize your posties?
I do. He is one of the like 3 who generally come to my house.
So my question to you is, do you really want to complain to the guy that's bringing you all your goods? It's like, I stepped on the tree. It's like, well, guess what's going to happen the next time I come around? Every tree's going to be stomped on. That's it.
Well, that's
Fucking
the thing.
ah!
That's the thing, right? He holds the power in the situation. He controls, like as they say, when you control the mail, you control information. He knows where I live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he could be like, and for my next trick, here is I'm going to make your magic. Make your mail disappear, and I never see it again. Right?
It's true. And like he has a lot of dirt. I mean, you could be ordering some personal things and I think you can build a bit of a profile on a person based on what they order. And I don't know, he could basically use that and maybe bury you. Or he could, somehow tarnish your name by maybe changing things and making a record of you ordering a whole bunch of fleshlights or something, Damien. More than you usually order, obviously.
And look, if somebody tampers with my Abercrombie and Finch catalogs, then I'll be really upset. So maybe I just won't say anything. So you guys are saying just don't say anything?
What I want to say is that you did say, maybe he was tired and, he might have not known what he was doing. If you you can't sort of forgive someone for being tired at their job if their job is to, do a certain thing. So if you were to say like, okay, the ambulance driver that was driving me to the hospital was tired and that's why he rolled the ambulance, no, it doesn't, it's not acceptable. When you're on the clock, you got to be paying attention.
Exactly. There's the tiredness factor is not something that's an excusable factor.
I'm not forgiving him for that.
I wouldn't forgive him for tiredness. I wouldn't take that in. But what I would do is I wouldn't even say anything. I'd just be like, all right, if he's going to do this, maybe I need to protect my trees more. What you should get is like, those tomato stakes and stake around the tree,
You know what?
Put
That
like
just
warning tapes.
No. That just sparked a good idea in my head. What I'll do instead is, because the dead tree's still at the front, right? Maybe I'll make a little tree tombstone and put some flowers at the front. So the next time he rides past, he'll see that the bark is on his hands.
Yeah, I think you should basically set up a shrine, have little tea light candles and stuff, like a photo of the tree leaning on a little mini easel as well. A whole bunch of other trees set up mourning it.
And then what'll happen is he'll just step all over that too. Like he'll just like it's more Godzilla meets Tokyo. So
you gotta set up a tiny little village. There's something in my area that I saw when I was going for a run. That's some kids have set it up over during the lockdown, and it's a whole bunch of spoons stuck in the ground in like a garden, and they've got like pipe cleaners for arms and hair and faces and stuff. And there's a little sign that says "Welcome to Spoonville," and there's a little spiel. They're saying like it's here to spread happiness and like please contribute a spoon to Spoonville. And then there was a sign saying, to the people who have stolen the spoons 3 times, please stop. This is a good thing that we're trying to do here. So people are sabotaging Spoonville.
That's horrible. But if I was going to sabotage Spoonville, all I would do is put a fork in it. That's all.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
They'll run him out of town, I think.
Yeah, like you could put him into the fork and he's evil or something like that.
Yeah.
Like he's painted red, looks like Satan. You put him there. I mean, you're not ruining the other spoons. You're fucking with them.
No, that's
Not
beautiful
stealing them,
because then after that, you then bring in a spork. So it's like now they're procreating. They're mixing the utensils.
They're like, spoons only in Spoonville, and it becomes a big race war between spoons, forks and sporks.
Guys, we're supposed to be solving problems, not creating them. We're doing the wrong thing here. We need to get back on track.
We do. I just want to sum up for you, Damien. I would not personally. I wouldn't say anything to it. I'd just be like, well, look, got to wear it. To be fair, the tree was still young. It's not like it was really long in its development. You could plant a new one, and it probably wouldn't be that far behind where the current one was, right?
It's true. When he split it open, I could see there was only one ring in its trunk, so it was just a baby.
It's a 1-year-old, yeah. But that's unfortunate though. I feel bad for you, dude.
All right,
I agree.
Now let's get into the theme for this week. My theme for our question askers is a movie where you think one of the sequels is better than the original.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. All right. Very, very good.
I'll go first, I think, because I rarely go first. I always seem to, don't jump the gun, so I'm going to go first. All right, I've got
number one.
Got a movie in mind. The movie I'm going to talk about is Blade Runner 2049, I think, or 247.
2049.
Yeah.
2049. That's it. And the reason is...
Just say Blade Runner 2.
Yeah, Blade Runner 249.
Electric Boogaloo.
Now, it's because the original is such an iconic film, but it's one of those ones where I watched it like maybe not recently, maybe like 10 years ago, which is still like 20 years older than what it was. And I just found it so slow and boring. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's just one of those films where I'm like, I get where it's going, but it's 3 hours long and it just kills me. The sequel is also slow-ish and long, but it actually picks up steam and I really enjoyed it. But the first one was just like, ugh.
I gotta say, I watched Blade Runner 2049 like about a week or two ago, and I really liked it. I've been hanging to watch it, hadn't set aside the time because it is long, but I'll have to agree with you. I liked it better than the original. I know Blade Runner is obviously like a massive sci-fi movie, but I enjoyed the recent one more than the first.
I had a horrible film experience seeing 2049. Were you with me?
I was with that. Yeah, I was there. Yeah,
it ruined the film. The actual the speaker, the screen of the projection screen in the actual cinema was touching the speaker behind it. So during the whole film, because it was quite a bassy film, the screen, you could see a giant speaker ring imprinted on the screen, and it was making the whole screen shake whenever anything happened in the film. And you could see how pa, 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 pa. It ruined the film. Even if it was a good film, I couldn't tell you.
This is why I think it's such a good film. I was in the cinema
Despite
with you,
that.
and that was still was better than the original, because even with that, that's how good of a film it was. So that's it's saying something. I completely forgot that subwoofer speaker was there.
Well, there you go. Well, let's see what Blade Runner has to say for themselves.
Blade Runner 2049 writes in. I'm just gonna call him B2. Okay. How do I get over the embarrassment? Okay. So it was my mate's birthday, and to celebrate, we went out to a nightclub. I don't want to go into too much detail because it's too embarrassing, but basically, a fight broke out and I got kicked in the nether regions. And it hurt really bad. I can't explain how bad it hurt, but it was the worst pain I've ever felt. Anyway, the point is, because it hurt so much, I was on the floor crying. And it wasn't just a few tears either. Enough said. Well, I was in front of a nightclub full of people, fit girls and all. And now I'm really embarrassed about it. I don't ever want to leave the house again. I kind of had a reputation as being hard. Now, what is everyone going to think of me? I don't want to answer my phone. It's like everyone knows. I'm so embarrassed. How do I get over it? B2.
Oh, I'm just picturing this guy that is like the biggest like club rat, sort of like, it's my image. Going to those clubs is everything. I always pick my favorite diamond encrusted t-shirt that I wear. I always got to look on point. Yeah. And then I get punched in the nuts and I cry. And now instead of being the hardest guy in the club, I now can't get hard because of the damage that's been done.
The thing I think this guy's failing to recognize is like, it doesn't matter if you're like, if you have my body or Arnold Schwarzenegger's body. If you're a dude and you get kicked in the balls, you are going to crumple like a house of cards. It doesn't matter what your physique is like. Balls are balls. You cannot add muscle onto balls. Not that I'm aware of.
I don't know, Damien. I've been doing some like deadlifts with just solely them.
All right, to your gonads.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm sure you look like a turkey between your legs right now, Marcus.
Well, that's the thing. It's like getting punched in the nuts, and like if you were to get punched in like the nose as well, right? Like that will set off tears. Like if you get knocked in the face, your body's response is to like shed some water from the eyes. So it's not there's nothing wrong with a natural reaction, and B, in general, there's nothing wrong with crying. I mean, if you're sad or if you're hurting, if you're upset, let it rip.
You don't need to have physical pain to be hurting. You can cry. It's all right to cry as a dude.
Yeah, emotionally, it's okay.
Look, I know I just made a point saying this guy shouldn't feel bad, but I'm now going to retract my point only because I just thought of something that happened recently. Did you guys see how